You're the reason why I am my way. You're the reason why I rip my shirts, why I eat at the buffet. Butter, butter, you got your very own kind of nice. We all live inside a butter world. Oh, butter, butter, gonna eat it by the sticks tonight. Gonna eat out this world. Oh, butter, I'm about to take a bite, 'cause I want that salty cream. What I dream about all night. Butter dreaming. I'm about to take a bite, 'cause I want that salty cream. What I dream about all.
Welcome everyone to an episode of Monday Night Live with Butterfield. We are joined by our wonderful Mr. Anderson, today known as Butter.
Thank you for using my pronouns. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Mr. Anderson, on your own show, Butterfield Monday Night Live. And I am Jay, also your co-host for the Monday Night Live show.
Yeah, what's going on, Jay? We have a great episode planned for you guys tonight. As you might have seen on our page on Instagram, we shared a clip from New York City Mayor Eric Adams saying that he's coming after your meat. Well, not really, but he's coming up with a new food-based emissions system to track your emissions based on your food. And he's pledging to reduce food emissions by 33% by 2030. What does that mean? What does that look like? What kind of steps are you taking to actually lay that plan in action? Well, that's what we're going to uncover tonight. Tonight we put on our detective hats, and it's going to be a great investigative piece. What's going on there? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's jump straight into the slides.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Monday Night Live, episode number 20. So we'll start up with some of our favorite topic, which is leg prill, the monthly challenge that we're doing in our Discord group, our members group. 50 split squats. They could be Bulgarian, regular, or ATG. You log your points in our Discord. We keep track of it over there with weekly check-ins on Wednesdays, just to hang out via Zoom. Truly. This is the current leaderboard as of today. Sorry, not 420, as of 420, 424. I don't know why I wrote 420, but it's actually as of today.
What are you trying to suggest, Jay?
I don't know. it just wanted to be 420. Obviously, I am leading because why wouldn't I? And then second place, we have Sassy V coming up with 662. Then my brother, if you cut the points by half, he's there. Followed up by Courtney. Courtney's right up there as well. And yeah, we got a few more other participants.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty sore from all the split squats.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good. I feel like my mobility has improved. I feel like I'm definitely can get deeper, and I'm able to do it on a flat surface without really struggling or losing balance now. So it's a win for me.
Amazing. Functional strength.
Functional strength, man. Last week, probably my brother's favorite episode with Scott Primal. My brother is very curious about the primal diet or raw meat diet. We always talk about it internally between us. So yeah, we had a great talk with Scott Primal. Shout out to him. Yeah, shout out to Scott. And yeah, talked about raw foods primarily, Ajonus, and some other good stuff.
Yeah, lots of interesting ideas. As far as raw meat or not, like, eat what you enjoy. But I don't think you're self-sabotaging if you cook your meat. But we discussed some interesting ideas as pertaining to sickness and parasites and bacteria and these things that apparently Jonas teaches. So you just got to keep an open mind. I think it's pretty clear that the stories we've been told about nutrition are mostly based on lies, and now I have to wonder how much of what they tell us about health and sickness is based on lies too. I don't know, but we
Yeah.
got to keep an open mind. I know
Yeah.
that since I've been a carnivore, I haven't been really sick for that matter. I never got the cornholio sickness. Maybe I did. I just didn't feel anything. So we got some interesting ideas as far as sickness is toxicity after all, and um, I think injuries are pretty real. Like if you
Yeah.
if you injure yourself, then you might need a trauma surgeon. That's for sure. But anyhow, that's what this episode is about.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Love it. Love it. So, topic of the night, topic of the evening, food-based emissions from New York City. You probably saw that Instagram clip on Butterfield, basically showing Mayor Adams talking a lot.
Yeah, the real clip is 9 minutes of him just like mumbling, trying to get through the speech.
Just making sure he's reading his script. It's a script. Who wrote the script? That is for you to find out. So Mayor Adams commits to reducing the city's food-based emissions by 33% by 2030 after releasing a new greenhouse gas emissions inventory incorporating emissions from food. Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Yeah, they're coming after your emissions, guys.
This is our hero. This is our hero.
All praise Mayor Eric Adams
All praise. All right.
and that man behind him.
And the and the his left hand person or right hand person. Hang on, I'm gonna share a new screen. If only I didn't lose the tab.
So we're gonna cover lots of different pieces tonight. Really gonna get to the bottom of what is this food-based emissions inventory system, like whatever. What's really going on there? What does that look like? Is this the future of cities? Apparently they're doing this in collaboration with Mayor Khan from London. So
yes,
we'll be addressing different sources tonight, but I'll take this opportunity to say eat meat.
eat meat. And yeah, this is the clip that you may or may have not seen it from Mayor Eric Adams. Pretty cool. But no, all right. This is the first article, right, Mr. Anderson?
Yes, sir. Zero Hedge.
Sweet.
All right. So from Zero Hedge reports, New York mayor goes to war against meat and dairy as climate agenda escalates. Hear the thunder?
Yeah, I can hear the thunder.
Yeah, man, it's pouring over here right now.
Wow.
Climate change. We should stop eating beef. The war on food is one of the more subversive elements of the net zero climate agenda. While most mainstream discussion focuses on carbon taxation or a shift to electric vehicles, there is a legitimate public threat underway in the form of agricultural restrictions by government, specifically on nitrogen and methane emissions, and the targeted removal of animal-based protein in regular Western diets. It's no secret that green totalitarians hate meat. At least they hate meat for the general populace. The reasons why are uncertain, though it's certainly not because cow farts cause global warming. There is zero evidence of any causation relationship between animal farming and rising global temperatures. In fact, there's zero evidence of any causation relationship between carbon, methane, or nitrogen emissions and rising global temps. That's a hot take from Zero Hedge. The issue is obscured by the methods used to calculate livestock's impact. The UN's climate report, Livestock's Long Shadow, claims livestock alone are responsible for 18% of greenhouse gas emissions, but the figure calculates emissions along the entire supply chain from land use to processing and refrigeration in supermarkets. So we actually we addressed the topic of emissions and more like climate in general about what was it 2 weeks ago? Our cow farts destroying the planet.
Yeah.
And we see like what they're saying here is true. 18% of greenhouse gas emissions, but that figure is calculated along the entire supply chain. from land use to processing and refrigeration in supermarkets. And what they say this here. Meanwhile, transportation figures, which are regularly reported as 28% of all greenhouse gas emissions, only factor in direct emissions from exhaust fumes, ignoring processes associated with manufacturing machinery or moving people and produce. The UN is deliberately overstating the scale of livestock emissions, not to mention there's no proof of climate impact, right? So yeah, they're measuring direct emissions from exhaust fumes versus like life cycle analysis of livestock. Clearly, they're deliberately overstating the impact. I love this article because they just really hit it like nail on the head.
Yeah.
Why the obsession with meat and dairy? There are multiple studies which suggest that veganism can lead to reduced cognitive function and lower intelligence, especially when such diets are forced onto children. The human brain requires several nutrients that simply cannot be found in plants. In most cases, vegans are required to take regular supplements to offset these missing elements that the brain needs. Maybe the establishment's goal in the future is to keep the average person as stupid as possible, or perhaps they want to keep the population dependent on vital supplements that are manufactured. One can only speculate on the true motives at this point. However, the spread of anti-meat ideology within governments is not a theory, it is a fact. New York Mayor Eric Adams is the latest official among many to announce his fealty to the climate crusade by joining efforts to cut animal-based carbon emissions by 2030, exactly in line with the UN's Agenda 2030 program.
And Anderson,
Hold the interest line.
Anderson, you've mentioned before in the past, that they want us to be cholesterol deficient, because
Yes.
you're definitely more dumb. And we have actually covered studies where lower cholesterol actually causes more depression, more suicidal or accidental death tendencies. So, more irritability, all these negative psychological factors from being low in cholesterol. So,
Yeah.
you've talked about it before. We've talked about it before. No surprise that could this be a take? I mean, I'm sure it's part of the equation. It's not the entire equation, right? Because
Yeah.
both is true, right? It's a win if the average person is more dumb, and it's a win if you get to sell more supplements, right? More manufactured stuff, more money, more dumb people, more money.
Yeah. But let me just address something you mentioned. You said we talked about the studies saying that they cause the low cholesterol causes these issues. The low cholesterol is associated, right? Let's
Mhm.
just stick to the science.
Stick to the science, yes.
Certainly we believe low cholesterol causes these issues, but the studies were associations. And why do we believe they cause these issues? Well, I mean, we cover this over and over again on this page on Instagram. But cholesterol, 20% of your body's cholesterol is stored in your brain. That's just one out of many points. We could go on and on forever. But
Yes.
anyhow, yeah, I think we can stop there.
All right.
What else did they say here? Yeah, now we got the other article to cover. That's straight from Fox News.
Nice.
Yeah, just what we just wanna get the points of the story. Okay, we're not pushing Fox News particularly. They're all the same. So
True. I mean, if you go high up enough, they're all coming from the same root source. Adams applauds New York City hospitals for feeding patients plant-based meals over meat by default in climate push. Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
that's definitely good business for hospitals. So he's doing well by applauding the hospitals. No one's applauding for the patients because poor patients, man.
Well, man, if the patients are taking longer to recover because they're not getting the adequate protein, that means more nights that you have to buy or you have to rent at the hospital. You have to pay for more nights, pay for more beds, more time on the bed. Mayor Eric Adams says food production and consumption, third largest sources of emission, touts plant-based diets purported mental health benefits.
Yeah, that's a direct inversion of.
Yeah, direct inversion of the truth. Democratic Mayor Eric Adams on Mondays applauded the New York City hospitals for feeding patients plant-based meals in lieu of meat by default, claiming what we eat is impacting our entire planet, as the healthcare system is apparently leading the charge in the administration's climate change initiatives to reduce carbon emissions. It is easy to talk about emissions that's coming from buildings and how it impacts our environment, but we now have to talk about beef. Adams said Monday on his Greens for Green initiative at press conference at New York City Health Plus Hospital Culinary Center in Brooklyn. And I don't know if people already are really ready for this conversation. And we can't have a level of hypocrisy where we want to ensure that we do local laws to address the emissions that come from fossil fuel, but not willing to have real conversation on what food is doing to us. I mean, I don't know. Food is actually, doing great things for me. And it's actually especially beef, chicken, pork, all animal foods are, being pretty good to me. It wouldn't be good to the hospitals though. So, we want the hospitals to be plant-based. I recall during my campaign for mayor when we first started engaging in the behavioral issues that's attached to unhealthy food. There was a lot of pushback, he added. There was a lot of people who did not want to look at the science. Okay. We now conjured up the science. All right.
Yeah.
The card has been drawn. And now more and more, we're discovering how food that is nutritionally void has a major impact on health of a personal mental state. Wow. So you say science and then call animal foods nutritionally void. It's just, as you said earlier, Mr. Anderson, direct inversion of truth. Adams and Chief Climate Officer, CCO, and New York City Department of Environmental Protection Commissioner Rohit Agarwala on Monday released what they said was the city's first integrated greenhouse inventory. The mayor's office said emissions from production and consumption of food represent 20% of New York City's overall emissions. The third largest source behind buildings at 35% and transportation at 21%. Amazing. The inventory developed by Mayor Office and Climate Environmental Justice includes emissions involved in production of goods and services New York consume, whether that production occurs in New York City. In response, Adams and Mayor Office of Food Policy Executive Director Kate McKenzie also announced that the city aims to reduce absolute carbon emissions from foods purchases across its city agencies by 33% by 2030. So they're aiming to reduce food purchases. How is that going to work? You just buy less food, have people consume less food.
Exactly.
We already know, this is established. The science is settled that the plant-powered diet is better for your physical and mental health, and I am living proof of that. But the reality is that thanks to this new inventory, we're finding out it is better for the planet, Adam said. So, oh man, I mean, what do you do when someone starts talking to you like that? They start saying, I'm the living proof of a plant power. It just
Plant
sounds
power.
Actually sounds so weak. The mayor's office says New York City Health hospitals, by serving plant-based meals as the default option and enhancing patients' food experience, is on track to serve 850,000 plant-based meals this year, reducing its food-based carbon emissions by 36% as of February 2023, while reducing the public health burden of diet-related diseases. Now, that's a bold claim.
Yeah. People are just gonna keep on becoming more mentally ill. But sure, man. Maybe they might not get diabetes. Maybe not.
Yeah, but people will certainly lose their mind. Is there let me see. New York City is leading in the world when it comes to combating climate change because we're using every option on the menu, and in some cases we're going to change the menu. That is how you lead. We're leading the world and ensuring we combat climate change, Adams said. And if we're going to accomplish this goal, it must be accomplished by being honest. Oh my God, man. Why is he calling himself honest when everything he said is not honest? You cannot leave the third leading cause of climate change unacknowledged. And when you do a comparison, the numbers that food contributes compared to transportation, they are extremely close. It's almost dead even. So we can't even talk about cars. We can't talk about buildings if we're not talking about the food that also contributes to this crisis. Man.
Yeah,
Um,
he's just making sure he checks every box as far as like just to lie properly, right? Because when you bring up these arguments, the same arguments he's bringing up, but use them against him. He's like, no, I said this.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
science. I'm the living proof.
Yeah. I got the science with me. I got the living proof on me. If you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for the earth, right? So make it a goal greater than yourself. Um, oh man, yeah. Guardian Angels founder and WABC radio host Curtis Sliwa, who ran against Adams in the 2021 mayoral election, told the New York Post that hospital staffing issues and safety concerns should remain City Hall's focus, not pushing plant-based agenda. That's a good point. Sliwa also criticized Adams over the plant-based meal push, arguing that serving that to tens of thousands of migrants seeking asylum in the Big Apple is culturally not appropriate for many and will be thrown in the garbage. It's gonna be waste. I mean, a
Yeah,
lot of the food waste already is plant. I think a complete diet is better. A lot of vegetarians are low in B12. Joan Lu, a veteran nurse who worked at the Mount Sinai Hospital during pandemic, also told the Post. Adams' push is reminiscent of what the former New York Bill de Blasio's move to ban sodas larger than 16 ounces in the Big Apple. In 2014, the state's highest court ultimately rejected the big soda ban, ruling the city board's health exceeding the scope of its regulatory authority, the New York Times previously reported. That is
yeah,
interesting. Um, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to banning 16 ounces sodas. Sodas larger than 16 ounces. It just seems massively unnecessary. New York City also introduced Plant Power Fridays in its public schools last year, emphasizing the central role that healthy, low carbon options must have on individuals' plates and inspiring future generations to lead the charge in creating a more just and sustainable food system. According to Adams' office, the mayor also launched a Plant Power Carbon Challenge, urging private, institutional, and nonprofit sector leaders to reduce their food based emissions by 25% by 2030. I don't know, man. It sounds like a horrible reality over there in New York City. Um,
yeah. Just in time. I like that they quote the on all this article where they're quoting Mayor Eric Adams. There's one quote from a nurse, and she makes the most salient point. She's like, maybe a complete diet is better. Vegetarians are low in B12. You know, how's that for science, Eric Adams? How's that for science, man? Yeah, direct testimony from hands-on experience, right?
Yeah, yeah. Mount Sinai, right? Yeah, Mount Sinai is a hospital over there in New York, uh, NYC. And yeah. Where's the science when he said plant based is healthier overall, but they are not good enough for B12. Very interesting.
Exactly, yeah. But mind you, they're doing plant-powered Fridays, and they already have meatless Mondays over there in New York. So
Yeah,
now you have 2 days.
yeah, yeah.
So we thought it was appropriate to mention that New York City is one of the C480 cities. The C480 is a group of cities that have announced. C480 announces collaboration to map consumption-based emissions in two of the world's biggest cities. So this was an article from May 9, 2022. And it's almost like a year later. Now we're hearing Mayor Eric Adams coming forward and making this mention. And so I'll read from the bullet points. American Express will support the development of consumption-based emissions inventories in New York City and London. Initiative will pioneer new ways for cities to calculate to reduce emissions from urban consumption. New York City is joining London and 13 other cities in the C480 Good Food Cities Declaration to increase access to balanced and nutritious food and waste less food. So I guess this wasn't really mentioned in the articles we read, but if you go and watch the speech he gave, which is 9 minutes long, he does specifically reference American Express. He thanks American Express for their work on this project. He also gives a shout out to Mayor Khan from London. So it's clear that London and New York City are doing this effort, joined by American Express as well as like the Good Food group.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. Collaboration was discussed today at a meeting between C40 chair and Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, and Mayor of New York City, Mayor Eric Adams. Adams also announces that New York City will sign on to the C40 Good Food Cities Declaration to increase access to balanced and nutritious food to city residents and halve food waste. Joining London and 13 other cities around the world, which are delivering on the same pledge. So yeah, I don't think we really have to read all of this article. You might just scrolling down. I think they're just covering like background stuff. Yeah, they quote Mayor Bloomberg and such. Oh, look, yeah, CEO of American Express. Scaling climate action globally requires collaboration across private, public, and nonprofit sectors. Partnering with C40 cities to develop a consumption-based emissions inventory for New York City and London is another important step in our commitment to advance climate solutions and will help empower cities and communities to leverage data and insights to effect positive change.
Why is a credit card company so invested in tracking your food intake?
Yeah, that should really make you question, what's going on.
Yeah, it should throw you some red flags out your way. All right. Oh wait. Did I scroll all the way to the bottom?
Yeah, that's really it. Just announcing that they're part of this group. They're working together with C40 and also what was it? Part of the Good Food Cities. Good Food. Remember that name?
Good Food. Yeah, we gotta keep an eye on London then, because sounds like London is gonna be the one that's already probably haven't really checked on London. It sounds like they're either the next one or they're already doing it. Whatever Mayor Eric Adams is doing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So one of the groups that Mayor Eric Adams announced he's working with, besides American Express and London, is Greener by Default, which we pulled up the website for this group. They don't really have a lot of information on their website. It's like your standard stuff. Empowering institutions to serve sustainable, inclusive food by default, right? so I want you to really pay attention to what it is these groups are telling you they're going to do, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you just want to scroll and see they make these mentions of businesses, universities, conferences, restaurants. So right off the bat, they're telling you these are the groups that they're targeting, as well as so they're not coming after you, the consumer. Like they're not coming after what you can get at the supermarket. They're coming after businesses, universities, conferences, and restaurants, right? So companies that offer catering for their employees, they're going to be affected. Universities. When I was in college in New York City, we had meatless Mondays, and it was hard to find animal protein. It was still an option, but it was certainly not the main option. You know what I mean? So those are the kind of things that you'll be seeing. And we look at who's on board. I think we saw Harvard is there, Stanford, of course, all these NYC Health and Hospitals, right? All these big academic names, which should inspire a lot of trust. Green Biz Group, Clean Med, Kansas City, Oxford, UHero, whatever that means. UHero, Washington University in St. Louis, the Sustainable Purchasing Leadership Council, all these beautiful names. It's like B Lab, California Environmental Voters, Northwestern School of Law. What, Dr. Bronner's? Oh my God, man. That's a shocker.
Yeah. I
mean,
agree.
Presidio Graduate School, Western Washington University, and then we go back to Harvard. So what do you make of this? Can two random strangers talking to you right now online know better than Harvard and Stanford?
Oh man.
Like, should you really trust us? If what we're saying goes against what Dr. Bronner is saying, the guy who makes very high quality soap,
Yeah. Yes.
all natural plant based soap. Man, I like their soap, but I'm not gonna buy any more from them.
I know, right? Are we supporting the wrong companies?
Yeah, man. I mean, just make our own soap, whatever. But yeah, do me a favor and click on where it says get started. So does it take you anywhere? No, just
No, no.
I'll just click anything then. Yeah. Healthcare. Good food helps patients thrive by making plant-based the default. Healthcare organizations can improve health outcomes, cut carbon emissions, and decrease food costs, all while protecting freedom of choice. So, what do we hear Eric Adams say? He's congratulating New York City hospitals for serving over 850,000 plant-based meals to their patients. He said he's applauding the hospitals, not the patients, right? The hospitals, because they're very smart in what they're doing, extending their business. Um, so
Yeah.
this is just really one example of Greener by Default. This group that is leading the effort.
Butterfield.
Yeah, Greener what?
No, we're just punching our email.
No,
Institution Butterfield.
yeah,
We're going plant based, where the cow eats the plant and that plant gets turned into butter.
exactly.
True
But yeah,
plant power.
not a lot. Go to About Us. There's not a lot of information there. You can see like their board of directors and things like that. It's really just a bunch of like executives from like other companies. Their vision, whatever, their values. They have no values. They want you weak and and soulless. They want
Yeah,
to make plant-based meals the default, right? You get what that means. It means like you might get charged extra if you want any animal protein.
exactly. Cultural humility by meeting people. Strengthening the nexus between food, climate, and behavioral science. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
because that's what we really need.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely plant powered.
So, oh, look at that! The whole team is 3 women.
uh, yes. From Yale. Um
So it's just a master's degree in animals public policy from Tufts. Oh, Tufts, the ones who came up with the food score system.
oh, yep. There you go.
Yeah, and then this lady from a psychology degree from UC Berkeley. Your this bachelor's degree in psychology wants you to eat the plant protein, man.
So,
It is
yeah.
such an inspiring face. I mean, who would you rather take advice from? This face or that face?
Right. I know. I know. So that's the team, board of directors.
This is greener by default, and then of course you'll see all of these guys. Really, they're just like corporate interests. Yeah. Well, can you read anything? Just Benjamin, worked investment banking, Morgan Stanley, Credit Suisse, Alliance Bank. Hey, great industry. I really trust this guy. He's a former banker.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like you said, involved in investment banking and all that financial sector. He should definitely be on top of choosing the right foods. Put him in the charge. Put him in the board of directors.
Yeah, man. Wei Tai Kwok. Kwok. What is it? What has he done? Renewable energy industry, executive in solar and renewable energy industry. Excellent. So he's really at the cutting edge of anything sustainable. Because there's nothing more sustainable than like covering pasture land with solar panels.
Yeah, cover all the pasture with solar. And this doesn't make any sense. He is interested in regenerative agriculture and a plant-forward diet. So that tells me he doesn't really understand what regenerative agriculture means.
Yeah, he doesn't really know what he's saying.
So is two paradoxes in one.
Yeah. Oh, Sandeep Patel, president and CFO of Pop Sockets. I don't know what that is, but he used to be a CFO at Califia Farms. So I think
Oh,
they make well, besides making cold brew, they make what do they make? They make almond milk and just like garbage like that.
oh, yeah. I think
Uh,
I've only
ma-
seen their cold brew things.
yeah, managing director at Goldman Sachs. Yeah, great mix of people working in renewable energy and in banking, and then like psychology majors from UC Berkeley.
Nice,
So
nice. Yeah, definitely go greener by default.
yeah, yeah. Anyways, let's move to the next one. Cool food. That one's got more information. So this is the other. Remember, I told you remember cool food.
Yes.
So the C40 and they said New York and London and like 13 other cities or like 13 total cities. They're joining the Cool Food Cities pledge. And there you go. There's the pledge. They help your organization commit to science-based target to reduce the climate impact of food you serve. Making 3.5 billion meals a year more climate friendly. What does that mean? What does that mean? Yeah, their pledge. There you go. Serve reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 25% by 2030. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. Um, our team asks for data on all animal foods as well as plant proteins, which collectively tend to make up 80 or 90% of organizations' food-related GHG emissions. What? Are they trying to say animal-based foods are up to 80 or 90%, or are they saying plant proteins are up to 80 or 90%, or are both?
You're saying both, which
Which
doesn't make sense, but
doesn't make any sense. Cool food calculator. Analysis is undertaken by World Resource Institute based upon peer-reviewed methodology. There you go. Each member receives an annual report showing GHG emissions by food type, trends year over year, and comparison.
yeah. So remember that name, World Resources Institute. What is that about? We're talking about cool food, and now we're talking about world resources and an institute that oversees world resources. Cool, man.
Yeah. What's up with that? Is there somewhere on Earth that there's a place that manages the world's resources? How come this is the first time we're hearing about it?
Yeah, yeah. But I want you to pay attention to over there where it says plan. We're here to help. Informed by the pioneering work of Better Buying Lab, our Cool Food team guides members through a strategic planning process to serve more climate-friendly food while meeting other dining-related targets. A year of research has led to our playbook, which serves as the backbone of the plan process.
Hmm.
There you go. So again, it's along the same lines of greener by default. What this group is really doing is, they're encouraging institutions to, well, basically just, serve more plant-based foods. Um, Jay, you were gonna keep scrolling down? No, no. So wait, go down. Yeah, our members. Wow, look at all of that. Those are all the members.
Yeah. Morgan Stanley. Of course, Bank
Oh,
of
look,
America.
yeah. BASF, which is the world's biggest chemicals company from Germany. Yeah, Harvard
IKEA.
University. Yeah, IKEA is there. Harvard, of course, is there. Hilton. So there you go. There's a hotel line. Aramark, well, which is like that's a food catering company. I think they serve like catering services. They offer catering services for companies, maybe schools. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, just you know, take in this whole list. You might recognize other names that we don't. Lots of universities and companies. We have Nestle, Mount Sinai, of course, all the UCs, all the universities of California. Um,
Yeah.
Seattle Children's Hospital, Williams College, World Bank, dear Lord,
World Bank.
um,
There you go.
yeah, Gen and Tech. So we have pharmaceuticals involved here, pharmaceuticals, banking, chemical companies, universities. Is this the machine? Is this?
Cool food is just another output from the machine.
Yeah, yeah, and you see a lot of overlap between Cool Food and what was it? What was the other one? Greener by Default.
Green,
And
yeah, greener by default.
Greener by Default. These are the guys who are overseeing the transitioning of these cities going from, well, what's already plant-based diet, right? Most people are already eating a plant-based diet, to an even more plant-based diet where they're going to make plant-based the default. So you're going to go to the restaurants, you're going to go to school. If you're a college student, you're going to the dining hall, and the plant-based is just the norm, right? You're gonna have to go out of your way to get any animal protein. Oh my God, what a nightmare!
Yeah.
But yeah, go up. Let's see what else we can find from this website. If you hit on the menu, um, we read the pledge. Yeah, what is that? I don't know. Pick anything.
Um, what's the business? What are they trying to do in terms of business? Oh, just trying to help businesses. Okay, cool. Oh, Panera Bread.
Yeah, well, are you surprised? I mean, as far as I know, Panera Bread doesn't yet serve any meat imitation products, but they tell you what they serve in their name. Panera pan bread. They're telling you they have bread in their name twice. In case people don't know, pan is bread in many languages, Spanish, French. What is how you say bread in Italian? Pan, maybe. But yeah, anyways, Panera maybe. So they have bread in their name twice. Is the point? They tell you what they're serving, and it's clearly plant based.
Yeah. Yes. Cool food meals. Our food menu. Ah,
Yeah,
it's just a trap.
yeah. It's almost like these websites are a scam, right? Like there's just like very vague information on both of them. Um,
What impact does food have on climate? So agriculture and related land usage, deforestation account for nearly a quarter of global greenhouse gas emissions. As the world population approaches 10 billion by 2050, emissions from agriculture and land could grow to take up the majority of the carbon budget for limiting global warming to acceptable levels. Tackling the climate crisis not only reducing fossil fuel but also changing how we grow and eat our food. Um, wow, global average, right? So you take into account less developed countries, which have no transportation or very poor transportation and infrastructure. So those are going to be more agricultural or heavy. So they are, just relatively speaking, going to have a higher greenhouse gas emission. And that is what drives the average up. But then you also get into like the whole like details of it, of like, a cow in pasture, is it really as damaging as a car? The answer is obviously no.
exactly. You want to click on what does cold food consider a meal?
Using a dish's ingredient, World Resource Institute calculates a dish's carbon footprint by analyzing the agricultural supply chain and land used to produce the meal. If the carbon footprint meets an established per meal GHG emission threshold and nutritional standard, the dish is approved as cool food meal. Wow. Now your food is being approved not by you, the living, breathing, and critical thinking person, but by some authority that you've never heard of. And actually is not even brought forward by the mayor of New York City or by the other companies that we've seen, or the other cities that are seen. It's behind this institution. It's like behind like three layers. The World Resource Institute. Um, who are
Yeah,
these people?
I love them. Yeah. Wait, click on the following one. What does cold food consider a meal? So
Cool food.
cold food uses it. Yeah. Uh,
Go for it.
the definition of main dish from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, which states products must satisfy the following criteria: they should weigh at least 6 ounces per labeled serving and contain not less than 40 grams of food from at least two of the following food groups: bread, cereal, rice, pasta, fruits, vegetables, dairy, and meat, fish, eggs, beans, and nuts. They should not be sauces or other types of condiment or garnish. They should be commonly understood by consumers to be a main dish and not a snack, beverage, dessert. So that's the definition of a meal. Should weigh at least 6 ounces and contain not less than 40 grams of food from at least two of the following groups. Okay, so in theory, you could have 6 ounces of bread and vegetables, and that counts as a meal, right?
Yeah.
It's got to have at least two of the following food groups. So you could exclude dairy and meat, fish, eggs, beans, and oh well, not okay, meat, dairy and meat, fish. Okay, so you could have like bread, vegetables, and beans or nuts, and that would constitute a cool food meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, now I'm curious. Well, click on the second one after that. What are the nutritional standards for cool food meals? Health is also an essential part of dietary sustainability. To screen out less healthy meals, the World Resources Institute uses the Nutri-Score method, which is already used in several countries, including France, Belgium, Switzerland, and Germany. The method accounts for four unfavorable components which are considered unhealthy when consumed in excess: calories, saturated fat, sugars, and sodium, and three favorable components: protein, fiber, fruits, vegetables, pulses, nuts, oils. Dishes that score a D or E are excluded and cannot be cool food meal. Further details can be found in WRI's Cool Food Meal Technical Note. Man, so I think I've seen this, and it's like I've seen people posting about this, and they show like a Nesquik cereal has like an A score, and like cheese has like a D.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah, something like preposterous like that. So there you go. Your food is getting ranked on this Nutri-Score system,
Oh, it's
and
incredible.
it's all being pushed by the World Resources Institute. I love the World Resources Institute. They have the words "world" and "resources" and "institute" in the name, so it's very trustworthy.
Yeah, yeah. I like it when my world's resources are managed by a central authority.
Yeah, but I don't even know who they are, and I never voted for them.
Yeah, no one knows who they are, or if they even exist. But that's okay, because we are just the stupid population, and we want thing that has been approved. We want things that are good scored, and we want things that are chosen for us. What if I don't serve meals? Nice. Was there anything else from this website?
No, we covered all the involved businesses and companies and universities and colleges and Panera Breads.
Yeah.
So I think we can go on to the what is a WRI and what do they have to do with
Is it
yeah,
this one?
but wait, yeah, click on the main page though. Like I think this is the financials one. But you. This is the first page you see. Restoring degraded ecosystems. Local farmers offer new hope for Africa's degraded lands, and you have some people from Africa smiling and they're holding plants. So whatever they're doing, it must be good, and it must be good for them, right? I hope they're not like getting pushed like Monsanto GMO crop seeds and you know and pesticide technology so that they become heavily dependent on these companies. I hope that's not what this is about. I don't know. I don't know. I hope this is very true, and I hope it's a net benefit. But yeah, all good things. What we do is WRI is a global research organization that works with governments, businesses, multilateral institutions, and civil society groups to develop practical solutions that improve people's lives and ensure nature can thrive. We
Oh,
organize our work around 7 global challenges: food, forests, water, energy, climate, the ocean, and cities. We analyze these issues through the lenses of our 4 centers of excellence: business, economics, finance, and equity.
where is health?
It's not about your health. They're
It's
telling
not.
you, man. It's
It's not.
business economics finance.
So yeah, just let's just call the same thing three different ways. Um, so let's analyze food through a business lens. Let's analyze food through an economic lens. Let's analyze food through finance, and then lastly, equity.
Right?
Uh,
They're pushing for a plant-based agenda. They want patented foods so they can, protect intellectual property, maximize their profits. Um,
yeah, for
hey,
example, yeah, forests. The more forests there are, the less space for businesses there is. So that is bad for economics because we want high GDP, and high GDP leads to higher financing. And somewhere in there, just make sure it's all equitable. Uh, that's the sort of analysis that they're doing over there. If I'm allowed to speculate.
yeah, yeah. So what's up with these guys, right? We can dive into if you keep scrolling down. Obviously, they're doing a lot, right? They are the World Resources Institute, so they have their fingers everywhere. But if you keep scrolling down, nice presence is everywhere. So I think we can go into their funding sources, so we can finally get to the bottom of who is actually pushing this.
Is it? Where is it?
Yeah, financials over there, like yeah, to the right. Yeah, and if you keep scrolling down, you'll find they disclose their top funding commitments. There you go. So click on 2021. They're fully committed to donor and financial transparency.
um, yeah, so the funding commitments list a total of 297 million. Nice. They collected 200. You've never heard of these people, but they are worthy of collecting 297 million in funding. Um, describes the major bodies by multiple contributions. The Bezos Earth Fund. Wow. So is this saying 100 million?
Yes, that's exactly what it's saying.
Nice. Um, so the Bezos Earth Fund funding to support two marquee initiatives: Land and Carbon Lab and Satellite-Based Measurement and Accountability System, and to Electric School Bus Project, which seeks to electrify the entire fleet of U.S. school buses by 2030. Stakeholder engagement and the initial design for the second phase of AFR 100, the African Forest Landscape Restoration Initiative.
Damn, electrify the whole school bus system by 2030. I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But now I know in 7 years, like that's going to be, if Bezos wants it to happen, it's going to happen. So I think we better start looking into buying stocks that relate to, uh, electrified
Buses.
transportation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is going to be huge. The whole U.S. school bus system
Wow. Yeah. 100 million.
is
Insane.
the kind of, yeah, nothing here is financial advice or health advice, but the kind of insider track that you get when you are aware of what they're doing behind the scenes. Everyone go buy Cobalt stocks.
Royal Danish Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Danida. 28 million. Global Environment Facility Climate Change Mitigation Unit, 15 million.
Yeah, that just sounds like another scam. Global Environment Facility Climate Change Mitigation Unit. They have $15 million. Who funded them? I'd be curious. But
Yeah.
they say they have a partnership with the C40 and the UN.
Yeah. The IKEA Foundation. Wow. 12.7 million, 12.1 million. Anonymous.
Says the hacker group anonymous or what?
just some anonymous person donated 9.3 million. Nice. USAID, 8 million. Mm, nice. FedEx. Okay.
Yeah.
5
FedEx,
million.
yeah. You had the UK, now the Swedish. So really, all the governments are showing their colors. Netherlands, United Nations University, Australia. Wow.
Yeah, so what? People's tax dollars are going into this World Resource Institute, which is then directing all these all these um, governments to tell them what to do. Bloomberg Philanthropies. Yeah, man, it's a big list. Banks, Oak. Yeah, there we go. This is the best guy over here. World Economic Forum.
Even they have their toes dipped in here.
They're in there.
So who funds the World Economic Forum? Probably like all the world governments. More man, it's just like a big salad of all these names. I bet they're all like involved with each other. They donate money to each other, and it's just like it would take a lot of time to just like unpack all of these names.
Yeah. Swedish postcode lottery. I don't know what that is, but it sounds pretty weird.
There's a big name.
Yeah. Wasn't Gates here? Or
Yeah, I thought they were.
yeah, did I? Oh yeah, Bill and Melinda Gates.
There you go.
Nice. So now you know it's been approved by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So, boom.
It's almost like they're just paying lip service to their names because I'm sure they're also like one of the leading donors of like um, the World Economic Forum and like the World Health Organization and so on and so forth. But
Yeah.
hey, if it's got the word world in it, it's good for everyone. And we should all receive our advice from tech billionaires.
Yes.
Of course, we have Google there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you have it. That's as far as we got. Even Microsoft is there.
Yeah. Bank of America.
Yeah. So if there's one takeaway is that all the names that you would suspect are involved in this initiative to transition you to a plant-based agenda, plant-based diet, they're all involved. Oh, BlackRock! Wow. They're all there. They're all there. This is nothing new. This is an organized effort by big corporations and tech billionaires, banks, universities, governments, the UN, the World Bank, the World Everything, World Resource Institute, to get you to eat your soy protein um, in the name of the environment. And they have to make beef the enemy. They have to make cattle the destroyers of the environment, so they can put these what was it, total $800 million, or what was it, like just a
Yeah.
ridiculous sum of money just going into like these 297 million, my bad, Yeah. Um, and me and Jay, we're not going to be affected by this. We're just not. But the ones who are going to be paying the price are, the children in New York City who go to schools, the teenagers who are in college, the elderly who are in the hospitals. So should we care? What can we do to stop this, right? Well, we have the culprits right here, and we could go deeper, right? Who's like Bezos Earth Fund? What else are they involved in, right? Who else is funding uh, all these institutions and all these organizations? But anyhow, yeah, I think this was a very interesting investigation. We just crossed the top of the hour, so I think that's a good place to end.
Yes, yeah. So again, it's like these ideas are being pushed by these entities, which are being funded by the governments, and then the governments themselves are then following their guidelines. That's what it looks like. So all very interesting. Oh, Josh Ketchy was here to see us. Yes, it is the machine. Yeah, yeah. The the
Oh
world.
man, wait, that was Josh with a few pounds on, man.
Yeah, that's Josh with a few pounds on. Yes, he definitely
Yeah, man. Yeah, we just had him like 2 weeks ago, and yeah. I mean, hard to
doesn't look
imagine
like.
that's what it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. When I first just saw his image, I was like, "Hang on, that's not Josh." Definitely, he's definitely looking more healthier, more better, uh, better now. Um, but yeah, man. So, you create fake problems, you come up with fake solutions, and then you just swirl some money around up and down these weird funnels that people can't even track. From your tax dollars to the governments to these world institutes, the institutes come back and then give you a policy that these now local governments must follow. And then people are like, yeah, well, the science says it's healthy. And
Preposterous,
preposterous indeed, man.
bunch of poppycock. But I think that's a good place to end.
Yes.
Thanks everyone for watching. Just make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and go share our content on Instagram. Check out our website for our merch. Support the show. Join our free Discord group, and if you're interested in any 2-on-1 consultations, we offer those. So hit us up via email, Instagram, anywhere really. You can find us everywhere.
Yes. And with that said, wishing everyone a happy, healthy, and more nutrient dense era. Have a good night.
Peace.
Gonna eat